Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dan French here. It's French Workbench Podcast here on a Saturday. Thank you guys all for tuning in. All one of you or two of you that's waiting in the waiting room on a Saturday morning. What's going on, everybody?
Please, not all at once.
Oh, yeah, not all at once, man. We got a great show for you today. Got a few people in here that are familiar faces, and we're going to talk a lot today about what's happening with pending sales. By the way, this is the most real and behind-the-scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs through on-job and education here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French, streaming live from Las Vegas. And we've been doing this thing for, what, about 8-9 months now, right? I mean, it's been a while.
We are the Leonardo da Vinci of podcasts. we cover it all. We're an innovator of all things at once.
Absolutely. And if you guys don't know who this guy talking here, he's somebody that's brand new to the show. No, I'm just
I was outside going for a run. I just stumbled in here. It was like,
Brett Cheney, ladies and gentlemen, come on down.
Just showed up out of nowhere.
Just showed up. Hey, man, what you got going on here? Like a bunch of cameras?
You know what, man? You're the energy. That's what we need you for. The energy.
It's superficial like me.
Look at that. Red line, baby.
I'm just kidding.
So let me ask you a question about this red line, dude. I mean, does it make you jittery or what?
Not me.
Yeah?
Because I'm used to it. It's like drinking. It takes a lot to faze me. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's like anything. I drink it quite a bit, more than I should. It's definitely not healthy for me. I don't have these scientific studies, but I'm pretty sure that drinking something like that quite a bit is not. Yeah. So I try to stick to just coffee, and some days it just doesn't cut it.
Imagine if you drank two of those, man. If you had two of those, you drank two.
Yeah,
of them?
I got another one in my car.
Man, give a shout out to Ver. What's going on,
But
Ver?
I pace it over a full day.
Oh yeah.
And
if you guys don't know who that familiar face is in the background, we got Esmeralda Lucia's back.
What's up,
man? You got the
everybody?
best image in the background right here. Look at that.
Yeah, I know you got a big thing on.
Vegas,
Take that off. There you go.
Look at that, man. Look at you. You look hot right there. You know what I mean? Like,
should
look at that
always look
background.
hot.
So what have you been up to, Esmeralda?
We're just dudes.
Yeah.
You guys are just good?
Too much man juice up in here. What's going on? We needed Esmeralda to come and even it out.
Yeah.
So what's happening over here? Do you got anything new going on in your life?
I'm just moving into my new home, looking for stuff, making
How's
it
that
look
going?
nice, and it's going. I mean, I'm not excited about moving, but I'm moving. It's okay though.
You got
It gives me
everything.
time-
You got everything in there.
Not everything yet. As soon as I leave here, I'll call my clique and
Call your clique.
call my clique.
Hey guys, looking for some free burgers and beers?
My family, I have a lot of my brother-in-laws and
Oh, there
family
you go.
members. Yeah, they're all like, when do you want to move? I was like, maybe today after
We
this
got
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a lot because I'm like, I want to buy stuff to match my palette.
Yeah. I got you.
Do you guys feel the weather changing? Like I feel it's starting to get,
man.
it's starting to get like a little bit cooler. Things are starting to kind of. This is like one of my best times of the year, though.
Yeah.
How
really
can it not
perfect.
be, man? The weather's, I mean, literally perfect. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's like,
Yeah,
It's perfect.
you know, it's like
just right.
heaven
It's like California weather.
yeah, it is,
now.
isn't it?
without being California.
Yeah.
So heaven.
Yeah, right. I mean, you seen that
I'm
traffic?
sorry.
Really?
Traffic.
California, take that back.
Hey, no traffic is nice.
No traffic.
Speaking of California, they said that they're possibly, and this we're not going to get off on topic, but I was reading this last night that they passed a law saying that they're going to you're gonna have to vaccinate your kids from 12 to 17.
I saw that.
Isn't that crazy?
K through 12,
Different.
right?
Yeah.
Is that all California or just like LA? Because I thought like different counties.
I think it's California because the governor came out and said it's going to be something that everybody's going to have to
Well,
go.
I mean, how many vaccination shots did you have to take as a kid when you were in school? Like, I remember standing in the
I
line.
mean, people are taking boosters now. so
Boosters,
it's like,
yeah. I
it's
remember
not like a big
standing in
deal.
line in like first grade in the gym.
Hey, I'm taking my
And-
third
yeah.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So, agree, disagree. That's a whole political thing right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's like
the ending of the world.
something. Yeah, something we haven't done before. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of do they need another something in their body or not? That's a different discussion.
right?
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
I get it.
It's nothing that hasn't been done.
Parents want their kids back in school. They want to rest at home.
Yeah.
Is that going to be enough?
Could
for
be a
students?
sensitive subject, though. I mean, would you like if you're in that-
100% on sensitive subject.
You know, I'll say this:
divisive.
If you're sitting there and you're looking and reading this, some people might want to pull their kids out. I don't know who. You know, obviously there's some people that are
I
sensitive
know some people that have.
that have pulled their
personally.
kid out. Wow.
Yeah, they did.
That'll be interesting to see
They have.
what the increase of homeschooling would be after this happens?
Well, I think that
Because
parents
that's your only
adjust-
alternative, right?
I think parents adjusted to that this last year with COVID. I think they had to adjust. You had to do a Zoom. Like there was no.
But I'm saying is if parents want to take their kids out of school now because they don't want them to get the COVID shot.
I know some people that did.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see what the increase for homeschooling is because of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
don't think it'll be
interesting.
that much, to be honest with you.
But then I had some other ones that are like, yeah, they're going to get the shot. It's time for them to go back to school.
Is that not close to me? Oh.
Hey, but then I had some that were like, hey, you got to go back to
I'm
school.
trying to.
So it just
trying
depends,
to-
I think, on the family and how they feel. And
Yeah,
what-
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
where they're at. in that
And their situation, like I'm sure there's probably a lot of parents where whether they agree or disagree aren't going to really have a choice because they can't stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of probably most families.
Well, think about a single parent, right?
Yeah,
You don't really have
let
an
alone
option.
let alone a single parent. You don't have an option.
Yeah.
You're trying to literally get by.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's talk about what's
Anyways,
happening.
that was fun.
Well, listen, no, it's true though. I mean, these things. So my question is,
Dan's a dad.
right? Would this actually come here? Because you know what? It seemed like everything that California does, it seems like we adopt for the most part. I don't
we
know.
don't-
I wonder why.
I'm
hope
just
we don't.
what
Because
do you think?
everybody hears from there now.
Yeah, but I mean, we still have.
I'm kidding.
You know, what do you think, Esmeralda? Do you think they're going to adopt that here?
I don't know. I think the way that we're going, though, honestly, like we were not wearing masks and everybody got vaccinated. That was one of the reasons. And then we still now are still mandated to wear it. So I hope we don't, just for the sake of what people believe, not
Yeah.
whatever that looks like.
Well,
I just
let me
hope
say
that
that- let me
there's
s-
more freedom in that.
Yeah,
for them.
I feel that if we do go to that situation, you're going to start to see an uproar a little bit, you know. And you know, I get it. You know, people want to take their kids. You got to have masks. I take my son every day. You got to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But if you got to get vaccinated, I think that's going to be a little bit more sensitive. Something more sensitive to go with, you know.
Yeah.
Let's also talk about Coinbase. They got hacked. What happened, Brett?
Coinbase didn't get hacked.
Yeah, I heard Coinbase got hacked, and I think
What?
6,000
Okay, I'm
people
scared now.
had some of their cryptocurrency taken. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, I was reading something about it that Coinbase had 6,000
Brad's
people.
gonna like- Sharking it up.
First of all, we're sitting here talking about 6,000 people. That's nothing. Come here, hold on.
Well, that's
Hey,
not a lot.
it's a start though, Brett.
Coinbase.
What if it keeps going? See, what? Go ahead and read it, Brett.
6,000. That's a lot.
Yeah, and you know what?
This is mucho.
we had a half-hour discussion about what we're going to talk about during the show, and you bring it up right now.
that was that not priceless?
Setting me up, you son of a.
Dang.
You son of a. Let me tell you something.
Did you see that look?
Cameras
on his
aren't going to be
face?
rolling. The show's done. I'm going to work you.
He was like this. Wait a second.
Oh, multi-factor within 6,000 customers.
Yeah,
Big
man.
deal.
Hey, it's a
A
start.
full
Listen.
allowed actors.
Are you reading it now? I mean, you're that.
So basically, to the SMS.
Time out, everybody, with the show.
Dude, I literally was showing homes all day yesterday from sun up to sundown. I'm sorry. I
Did
can't
you
do-
check your
This
account?
came out yesterday.
Did you check your account? Because you might have been at 6,000.
No, I don't. I just. No, I'm not. I know
I
that
think
for a
I only
fact.
went in by a tenth of my coin. Like,
First of all, I don't keep anything on
man.
exchanges. I stake everything.
Yeah.
So I don't really keep any. I just keep like petty change on.
So
on
what
my
are you going to do, man?
exchanges.
You going to pull money out of that now? Or are you going to start to put it back in
I
your
don't
bank?
have any money in there.
Oh, I thought you said you were investing.
I am, but I don't on Coinbase.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything on Coinbase.
Yeah,
I
but
have
that's
a little bit.
What if they start doing that to Binance and other places like that? What would you do?
I don't have mine on exchanges.
I'm not
most of
saying
mine.
that you do. I'm saying, what if they start doing this in general? What if people start trying to hack into this stuff?
What do you mean start?
Oh, they've been doing it.
Since the beginning of the internet, yes.
I'm not saying. Yeah.
And in fact, coins, what they'll do is they'll have a contest, and they'll say we are inviting whoever can to try to hack us, and if you succeed, you'll get rewarded with money for basically hacking us because they want to be exposed with anything that they're missing. There was I
that's
forgot
kinda
what
smart.
I forgot what coin it was, but. So anybody who's staking a coin, I explained to you before,
Yeah.
which is basically like, like dividend
Yeah.
for like you own Ford stock, and they say you're holding on the Ford stock. We're going to reward you, give you a dividend for holding on to our stock. That's what staking is for a coin. And they went to do an upgrade for their server for that coin, and it ended up giving out like $90 million of rewards to their people who already owned it, and all they could do was go back to the public and say, "Will you guys please give it back?" And no one's giving it back.
Well, here's the question. So you said that there's a way where they can't get hacked, and that they have a way to, I guess, like, what do? They just kind of push it into, like, what is the terminology that they use to store it, right? So that you can't get into it.
In a wallet, like a cold wallet. A cold wallet's the best.
So can you still hack into a wallet then?
No.
Well, then how did they get into this? This is a question.
Because they're on exchanges. They're on exchanges.
Okay, but you just told me about an exchange. I don't want to do that.
Because I said, that's why the first question I asked, I said, do you want to trade or do you want to hold? And you said hold. I said, well, we'll get you a wallet then.
Yeah. See,
So
I didn't even
why.
know, but I made a wise decision.
Yeah, that's why I said that's the first question I asked.
I think I need a little bit more data before I keep continuing to invest. I got to see just a little bit more.
Here's the thing: a wallet is like a flash drive, and like I have a ledger, which is basically like a memory stick, and you're the only person that has it. You're the only person that has the password to get into that. That's why it's safe. Because literally, it's not going online to anything. It's not connecting to any exchange.
So you can't get dementia or anything
nothing.
like that, because then like that's just a done.
Well, yeah. Well,
That's over. Like, well, I forgot.
What happens if you forget, Brad? Is it a get out of jail free card on this?
Well, I'll finish when people let me talk.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead, expert. Please. No, he's
I'm
a pro.
so rude. No,
He's a pro at this. We
So
need to
I'm
hear
not. I'm not a
from the
pro.
best.
It's just So there's actually for example, there's a family. What was it like in 2015 or 16? Sold everything they owned and went all in Bitcoin.
Okay.
And needless to say, that was when Bitcoin was like $2,000. So obviously they have a lot of money. So all they do is travel with their kids for a living, and they live all around the world. So they have 8 different ledgers with all their crypto on, stored in 8 different countries.
Oh, wow.
For that reason. Because like, what if a country goes under and the government goes under and the banking system goes, you can't go get your safe deposit box now, or you can't, whatever it is. They literally have 8 copies of the same one through 8 different locations throughout the world.
That's smart.
Look at Bonita right here said.
Bonita, she just texted me this morning.
Bonita Nunez. She said, Coinbase did not get hacked from article I'm reading. It was email. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, it was authenticated. The SMS.
Dude, Bonita's is a great.
Dude, she knows what the hell she's talking about.
Yeah,
and she knows what the hell she's talking about too.
It was an email
Fellow
that went
crypto
out
head.
mistakenly regarding their 2-factor authentication setting. Look at that.
Yep.
Detailed.
Yeah, so they didn't. It was
you
the
were wrong,
processor.
Sam.
Yeah, so that's why he's all trying to put me on the Bonita right there. He's trying to put me on the spot.
Why does Bonita give a better detailed explanation than you do?
Because you literally told me about something in a scenario that actually turns out didn't happen.
Bonita, do you want to be a co-host on here? Yeah. I need a co-host.
Yeah, because Dan tells me about something on the spot, which ends up turning out didn't even happen like he said it did.
Let's get back.
Expose me for something you were wrong on. You got me.
You made it through. Right.
I'm a fraud. Damn it.
Hey, you're a realtor / what?
Hey, I'm a realtor.
What's your slogan, though? You're a realtor / what? Cryptocurrency realtor? Is that what it is?
Certified crypto agent. The one and only crypto certified agent in the state of Nevada, and I'm also a certified Bitcoin professional.
Dude, I'm going to
Which means absolutely nothing right now. Other than I can say it. Represent.
All right, let's get into other things here. So I just want to bring up one of the things. So MGM Resorts also bought out Cosmo. Did you guys see that?
No.
Yeah.
Look at you, Mister. I've got all this news I don't want to share until right now.
Well, Brett, I mean, listen, man, I read the news.
Wouldn't it happen yesterday?
No, I think it happened last week.
Who reads?
This beginning of the week. What do you... Brett, you don't read?
If it's not a 30-second clip, I'm not about it, man.
If it's not on YouTube? Right?
I'm being facetious.
All right, so let's get into housing and real estate financing. I guess housing and real estate would be the same thing. Let's get into real estate and financing.
I put on my smart glasses, so I'm ready.
Okay, so you put on your smart glasses. I see. Okay, so go ahead.
Well, one article that we were kind of discussing before we started is this one about a luxury realtor in Florida, who had a listing. He had a $4.5 million listing, or like a $4.2 million listing. Bunch of offers came in, and one of the buyers who submitted an overlist price and great terms and all that stuff, basically he offered the most amount. Well, he had his own agent, and that agent submitted the offer to the listing agent. Well, come to find out, the offer gets rejected. The buyer's pissed off about it, so he drives to the seller's house. The seller happens to be outside, walks up and starts talking to the seller. Basically was like, why didn't you take my offer? And the seller says...
Oh, I was reading about
the seller
this.
Says,
I saw this.
The seller says, I wasn't presented with that offer. And the buyer says, what do you mean you weren't presented with the offer? The long and short of it was the listing agent took his own buyer's offer so that he could double end the commission on it.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Well, he said he verbally, which is a crock of shit in this world, right? he verbally submitted the,
he did a nod. He just did one of those.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The long and short of it is the buyer is now, and the seller are both suing the agent and the brokerage.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
You know what I mean? Because he lost out on money.
Here's the sad thing about it is that happens every single day in my world. Every single day. I call them realtor games all the time. And
so you're not presenting all the offers, or you are?
No, I always.
I just like.
What side are you on?
Probably 90% of my transactions are on the buyer side.
Yeah.
So, just by default, no. But,
that's funny.
It happens every day in our business, and it's one of those things where you know it's happening, but it's one of those things where it's super hard to prove.
Right.
It's super hard to prove.
So how does the seller find out about it?
And they know that. They know it's super hard to.
Yeah.
So the only reason this was discovered was because you had a buyer who took the gall to drive to the seller and talk to him about it. That's the only reason this was discovered.
Wow.
So have fun, realtor.
It was a high-end property.
Dude,
but
that's the thing. When especially when you do it at that level, those people have money to sue. And they will.
So how often is this happening on?
Not smart.
How often is this happening on properties? Maybe less.
All the time.
Like 400 to 600. Like let's say that is that
all the time.
So how do they get away with it? Agents.
It's one of those things where it's hard to prove.
Yeah, but I mean, you're doing a disservice to your.
Of course they are.
To your
of course
seller,
they are.
You're supposed to.
I'm not saying I do that. I'm letting you know what I deal with from a lot of listing agents. And I'm not exposing any certain names or whatever it is. It's across the board. And it's something where I always say, that's why I say realtors, if you want to get something done in life, have a realtor do it. Because we're the kings and queens of taking something that and figuring out how to get it done anyways. Because when you're going against a situation like that, you still need to figure out how to get buyers' offers accepted, even though you're dealing with that on the other side. That and a million other things, because these are all things that you would have to prove that the listing agent either had or didn't have these conversations with the seller. By law, I don't have a contract with that seller. The listing agent does. So how am I supposed to have that conversation with them?
So how often? Listen, how long have you been in the business?
16 years.
Okay. And do you feel that this has been going on since you got into the business,
Yes.
or is this something that
I started off in Madison, Wisconsin, and here.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
What's in Madison, Wisconsin? Like
that's just where I'm from originally.
There's nothing there. I think it's
Madison's booming big time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because they
know what?
They have a health database thing there called Epic. And it was started by this lady back in 1979 out of her basement in Madison. Yeah. But she was a computer programmer, and she's in Forbes. She's worth like $4 or $5 billion. So the thing about her is she's notoriously known for only hiring the best and the brightest. But what she does is she burns them out. She literally works them to the ground. Like you have to live within 10 miles of the building where you work. I mean, it's crazy, dude. But she literally works them into the ground. And after 3 or 4 years, they say, F you. Yeah. I can't do this anymore. But they're walking away with the intelligence now and the knowledge of how to go about starting a technology business. Yeah. They already had the brains. Now it's a huge startup place.
So basically they get the recipe.
Yeah. So now Madison's a huge startup place for startups. Yeah.
Well, I think too, you look at Midwest, you know, and this is another topic we were going to talk about, but a lot of people are trying to buy in Midwest.
Yeah.
Best deals are going on in the Midwest.
That's what I'm saying.
Right now.
My sister-in-law put their house on the market for $375 and it sold for $420 cash.
Wow.
Wow, that's huge.
Dude, in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, wow, that's a big jump.
I mean, I remember hearing that and I was like, shit, if I would have known that, I would have just stayed there.
Yeah.
I moved out here for
moving over
opportunity.
A lot of
I
people
mean,
are moving to Utah. I mean, the
Yeah.
Midwest is a hot market right now,
Yeah.
especially for somebody trying to get a deal.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like everybody's kind of going in, you know, filtrating inside,
Yeah.
right? It's coming like California comes here. Looks like people from,
Yeah.
you know,
East Coast is coming to Vegas.
Yeah.
East
I mean,
Coast-
I,
you
I came
know,
across a lot of people from New York.
the numbers here, the things growing here with the volume and appreciations doesn't really surprise me as because it's West Coast. It's just, you know, it's a warm place to live, blah, blah. But the Midwest
Yeah.
is like,
Booming.
that's crazy. I mean, that's how I know that it's doing this across the board, across the entire country.
Yeah.
It's not just a fad over here or...
I think also people retiring are also migrating and actually moving into,
Yeah.
you know, some of these places.
So
where
they'll keep their
it's-
place in Wisconsin to come out here for the winter.
Yeah.
yeah, you're seeing. So let's talk about Las Vegas, right, and what's happening. So we're starting to see a trend come down. We've been talking about it week over week. And a lot of past shows, we've been talking about that this collapse is not going to happen. Everybody's thinking, you know, from 2012 to 2021, we're going to have this market collapse. And, unfortunately, the data that we keep seeing is that this is not going to happen here in the housing market. Go ahead.
I would love to go back to the episodes. We've been doing this for about a year, like last summer, January,
Yeah.
of me saying the market's not going to crash and da-da-da-da and stuff like that. I told you so. It's, you know, everyone's like, oh, we're appreciating. And even what's going to happen now, which is the market's going to get more normal. It's not going to crash. And I'll put myself on the line for saying that right now. And I've been saying it'll get more normal, but that will be because homes will start coming on the market more. And
Yeah.
more importantly, interest rates and kind of what we want to talk about too, inflation. That's what's going to make things slow down some. But even then, I think there's enough equity in homes and people have either done cash or enough of a down payment where it's not going to really do anything with the market as far as bringing prices down.
Yeah. I mean, look, so you
That
got
doesn't make it more stable.
you have buyers trending to the Midwest, to the South, buying these homes. And you got people from California, people from East Coast coming here. Talk about all the time. West Coast, East Coast seem like they move here a lot or they move to Texas.
Yeah.
So you're looking at pending home sales, right? And there's a good barometer of like, okay, are we really slowing down? Across the country, pending sales are still going strong.
Yeah.
You know, they're not.
We're
there's-
definitely not slowing down across the country.
Yeah. I know.
So you look here, and I go on and I look at properties all the time. I'm on the MLS, I'm looking at things, and I see pending, active, in contract. Very rarely do I see a property that's on the market for 40 days. Usually it's something wrong with it. Like they,
Yeah.
maybe there's something inside that they don't want, to sell.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, and I'm going through, all these different locations, there's properties, but they're still going quick, especially in Henderson, Summerlin. I mean, good luck.
I know.
And I wrote an offer, and Henderson, and you have these many different things happening with this property, very minor stuff. Somebody came in, 10,000, I think it was 10,000 above, right? Didn't care about the problems.
Yep.
They're going to take care of it. And so
Buying it as is, no inspection. Yep.
Yeah.
demand is still there. Even though I say, look, we're starting to get more properties on the market.
Yeah.
The market is starting to slow down. Still seeing it though, right?
Yeah. That's
I saw a property that was in Summerlin. It was a 2-bedroom. It was under 1,000 square feet. It was going for 300,000.
Yeah.
Two bedroom, not
Yeah.
even 3, and then a little.
I know
area.
exactly the ones you're talking about.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, I got an amazing deal then. I was like,
Well, I look at you. If you
Summerlin.
if you look at anything in Henderson, let's say south of 350,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be a tough deal. Anything under 400,000, which is amazing to me. If
That's
you're
a good-
trying to get
that's a
into
good
a loan
price
right now,
range.
if you're trying to get into a house and your price point's 350, 400,000, and you need a mortgage on that, that's 2,000 to 2,500 at 400,000. Can you qualify for that if you're living here in Las Vegas?
I
right? And
just got a buyer yesterday in contract at 375. And the only reason that I got the offer accepted is because on all of my email signatures, I put the one and only crypto certified agent in the state of Nevada. And he responded back to the offer and said, "You're into crypto? Man, I totally got to talk to you."
That's the only reason.
And that got me in as far as him accepting the offer.
Did he present? Wait a second.
Awesome.
Wait a second. Did he present all offers?
Yeah, I think.
Only the Bitcoin.
I don't know. I'm not the listing agent. All I know is I got mine accepted.
So I think that's you got to find common ground, and then it's like,
Yeah,
boom, you
but
got
as soon as he
12%.
said that, I was like, "Oh, I got this one
Yeah.
finally." But
It's all good.
The previous 3 agents, and I won't again say names, but for the past week, I submitted 3 other offers, and not only did we get rejected, but they didn't even acknowledge they received the offer.
Why? What is it? What's up with that?
Which is straight up illegal. Not like illegal, like I'm going to go to jail, but it's a fine from the GLVAR. Like you're not even they're not even acknowledging and I'm sending them 2 or 3 or 4 emails and text. Hey, please confirm receipt. Not even acknowledging it. And then one of them responded like 3 days later, seller accepted an offer. Well, no shit. But I mean,
well, here's my thing. It's almost like this, and I Vegas and a lot of people, you got to be likable. I've talked about this a lot, right?
Absolutely.
And one of the things you have to do is follow through. You can't just be like, well, I got mine because I got money in the bank because it's a listing, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting cashed out.
but listen, at the end of the day, I'll go on and show him. I'll go on and show him another house and give him another contract. I don't care. I'm all about working hard. But to not even respond to me, like I have a buyer that I have to get back to, so that makes me look very unprofessional. That makes me look like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I can't even get an agent to respond to me.
Also, it's kind of embarrassing because you think about it and you're like, look, I'm representing you.
Dude, just common professionalism.
Well, here's why. Because now it's like,
it
it is. Because now it's
Dude,
like,
it's a whole new breed of realtors.
I'll tell you what it is.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
You're not respected enough to get a response. Like I'm in the game here. I've been 16 years, right, Brett? You're 16 years in the game.
He's like, I've been
dude.
here
First of all, no
other
other agent cares. I've been in the business 16 years. Like they don't like. So I don't. Nobody's trying to disrespect anybody intentionally. It's just it's work for them, and they don't want to do work. Yeah. So they'll just ignore you, and they don't care. But that's just. I don't take any of it personally. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said. I have a goal. I still got my buyer in contract. I mean, it took more work, and I will do it until that happens. But I mean, Christ,
yeah, but
can't even get a response, and it's like
me as a rep, I get calls. They're like, "Hey, we can't get a hold of this agent. Do you know him? Can you call him?"
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hello there. He says.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You need to call the other agent back.
Could you just respond back yes or no? It's real simple. Yeah. I mean it.
And then they'll get mad. They're like, "Why did they call you back?" I was like, "I don't know."
So do you feel like that realtors only go as far as they need to? Like self-leadership's big, right?
100%. Yes. And next discussion.
Is that because it's a character thing and how they're Okay.
100%.
I agree too. I think it's your character has a lot to do with the way you carry yourself in business.
It's a lot in this business.
I'll give you a quick example. So if I'm doing a loan for somebody, right, and they pull credit, here's a good example. I could just leave you hanging and say, you know what? Go get your own credit simulator. I'm not gonna. I know that 9 out of 10 people aren't gonna probably take advantage of that simulator. But you know what? You never know who they know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. You can't be the listing agent and go because you know what? What if you have a listing and now the tables are turned?
Listen, bro. I know. I've been doing this 16 years, and you last 16 years, you understand everything comes full circle. Especially in this town, especially in Vegas.
Yeah.
Where this is still the biggest small town that you'll live in. And I'm telling you, you run in the same circles and you do it long enough, what comes around goes around. Yeah. So be cool now because you're never going to know when it's going to come back around.
Do the right thing.
Yeah.
Let alone do the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a person here, Logan. He said every single existing home sales print in 2021 is more than 2020 levels. Even with the price gains we've seen since 2012. Proves my point right there. Yeah. And he just, basically gave me evidence from somebody outside of just me saying this. Yeah. A lot of people know we might take a small correction. This isn't going to be, we're dropping to levels, though, like we saw 10, 15 years ago.
It should correct. Who the hell's not on board for the market to correct some?
Yeah.
Shit.
Balance out.
I mean, I am.
Yeah. Well, too, it gives opportunity to buyers that didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm a buyer's agent, dude. Believe me, I would prefer not to get slammed every time.
Yeah.
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 So
I agree. So when you're out there and you're writing these offers, and you probably see this too, you just went through an offer. I want to kind of go through your offer and how you got it accepted. But you're out there writing offers. Is this a multiple offer scenario now, or is it, you know what? We're starting to see properties where at this price point, people want to know.
Depends.
Where's the price point where you stop getting multiple offer scenarios and also
500.
overpriced?
I should say 450. 500, maybe 450. You get above 500, it's got to have a pool. It's got to be.
It has to be nice.
It has to be updated. It has to have a decent yard.
Yeah.
It has to be, all these things. If it doesn't have all of those things, then it's not going to get. It's not going to have multiple
But
offers.
I love my backyard, though. It's cute.
Yeah. But I mean, there's always exceptions to everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, by and large, unless it has properties that would literally evoke every single home buyer, then it's probably not going to get multiple offers.
Yeah, I seen that we had a property that I put an offer in on, right? Looked at the data, and I brought this up. Only pool in Henderson that I saw. I mean, only one, right?
No, he's not kidding.
Not kidding.
Dude,
I mean, I was searching. I got people looking for this.
Think about that. You did a whole property search for all of Henderson, and what was the price point below what?
So they bought this for $280,000, right? This investor flipped it, and we're selling it for $100,000 more.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times.
Yeah.
I think it was like 6 months later.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
In fact,
but that's just crazy demand. They're like, oh, this is a gold mine because one, the market.
Yeah. Mhm.
The other thing too is look at this. We have a pool in Henderson. How many people are going to want that?
so I was doing some research this morning, and there's been the first increase in flipping in over a year. So there's more flippers than there has been in over a year, but the return on investment is the lowest it's been. And the top places for flipping right now are Fargo, North Dakota, Omaha, Nebraska, Oklahoma City, Buffalo, New York, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Philly. Those are the top cities in the country right now for being able to flip and, make the most amount of profit.
I would probably stick to Philly because Philly's close to
I have a buddy
New
who lives in
York.
Philly. Yeah,
it's
he's
close
moved
to-
into 2 homes that were flipped.
Yeah, it's close to New York. And
Man, I tell you what though, you ever go on YouTube and my buddy lives in Philly and they got flooded like from the hurricane like a month
well,
ago.
it's really old.
So he had to take like this back way home. And he's like, man, I was on so-and-so street. I hate going through it. It's so ghetto. Blah, blah. I was like, what are you talking about? I go online and I YouTube that street. Holy
Really?
old.
dude, that street was like, the people were like zombies. Like on drug, dude. It was like, it made me. I watched it for like 2 minutes and I was so depressed.
Oh.
I mean,
Well, look at it.
he was like, I hate driving through the street to get home, and I'm like, what do you mean? I go and look it up. I was like, holy, that's
Yeah,
like,
right.
Even for Vegas standards, it was like,
Crazy.
yeah.
So you look at Vegas and Esmeralda, I want to talk to you a little bit. So I've told you about a couple of times where I've written offers. I'm starting to see, we're not getting as many, right? But we're still in some cases going above. Yeah. This client that I have got beat out. They were going to 10,000 above on this offer I wrote.
What was the price point?
It was 350. So they came in at 360.
And that's what I'm saying.
And that's fine.
Anything, I would say this, anything below 400, if it's a decent property, is for sure going to receive multiple offers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually was looking at that price range, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, there was a line.
Yeah,
So
I know.
There was a line of, and I'm like, wait, I thought at first there was something going on in the
It's a
neighborhood.
new home though, right?
No, it wasn't. These
No,
were resale.
dude, these are resales.
No. I'm talking about your home that you bought.
Oh, no, mine was a resale. It was not a new home.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
Man, see, I thought she got like all these incentives when
no,
she
no,
used the builder's lender.
what
but,
happened was
Oh,
I did have
see.
relationships that they listed the property, so I had to make extensive calls.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
She used
homeless.
her
I need this.
connections.
I did. And
So
I
what
did.
happened?
Play-
You went
play
into
the
it.
innocent girl.
What did your realtor tell you when you went into this situation? Where you like, okay, what kind of go down the road of what that person said?
Everybody said I was not going to get what I was looking for. One, they told me, hey, you're going to have to adjust and kind of.
That's a great way to start. You're not going to get what you're looking for, so just
Yeah, they're like, what you're looking for is not.
be discouraged.
Well, yeah, it's not realistic right now. With
Well, look, I understand you got to let the client know, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is
Well,
proper
that's-
expectation, but you still got to say, look, we'll still try,
Right.
And look if you get process of elimination, if you get beat out and you see this happen consistently, unfortunately, you got to do a little bit more work with
Yeah.
that type of clientele,
It
right?
usually takes care of itself.
and that did happen. I I've been looking since last year, October, and I lost every offer to cash. I mean, I didn't even have a chance.
So that's the thing is we'll meet up.
I didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, we'll meet up and I'll say, okay, what are you looking for? Okay, well, just so you know, here's what we're looking at right now. And people will still want to stick to their guns, but believe me, they get run down sooner than later when you have a scenario like that because they keep on writing offers, getting beat out.
Yeah.
And I always say, listen, you're going to tire out before me. Like, I do this for a living. This is all that I do. So I've got all the time in the world. You're not going to tire me out. I'll write 30 offers if you want. Yeah. But people aren't going to write 30 offers before they start changing things because they're...
I took a break. break.
You take a break or you reassess how you're going to go about things or what you want, on your priority list.
So what happened, Esmeralda?
So what I was doing, I started just going on my own and I just started looking at properties and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was staying up until like 4 a.m. every day.
Wow. You were going that hard, huh?
Yeah, I was. And I was able to find these properties at that time. And I don't know what it was that either they were listening. I don't know. But I was like, oh, shoot. Like, wow, I didn't realize that I was able to get a better opportunity at that time frame versus during the day with properties. And that's how I found that one. I'm like, oh, hell no. Yeah. So I just, I called my agent at that time. I was like, hey, I know it's early. It's 5 a.m. But, dude, I need this yesterday. I'm going to make these calls. And then it happened to be people I knew that were all involved in this one specific. And I called them directly. I was like, it's me, Ez. I'm homeless. I need this.
So you used your connections.
No, I did, but I did use my connections. I had to get it. There was no way I could go around it.
No, listen, dude, I do the same thing. So I get
that was the only reason I was able to get it. I believe it had to do with my relationships. Yeah. But I did offer something that I felt like was reasonable, but it was something that I was not gonna break me to. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I did offer some stuff that I thought was like, okay.
So you got to know people, and I also think,
especially in this town.
That's why I said you gotta.
Yeah. So what's the secret? Know people in this town.
Well, but let's say you're coming out of state. A lot of people, you're relying on the realtor to kind of support and help you, right? So you look at the situation, you tell them the realtor's like, you know what, I'm going to set that expectation, like you said. You know what, that price point's going to be tough. But I'm just going to say this: when you look at the situation, people have already set in their mind that this is as far as I want to go. And also, even if I have the money, I might not want to do that. And so there's already expectation. So you got to now say, okay, well, let me change that expectation that person has. A lot of times it's hard to do that.
It's about meeting and getting on the same page. But to be honest with you, in this market is happening all over the entire country. So where they're coming from, the same thing is probably happening with the housing market. So you don't have to really get in depth about, here's what you need to do, because they get it, in this market. They get it.
You know what else, you guys? When I went there, I didn't even go inside. I just drove up. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then this was another thing I was doing. And this is so crazy. Oh, my God, this is out in public, but I don't care. So what I was doing is I would drive to the neighborhood before I even told because I was like, I got to make sure, I like the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
I always suggest
sometimes I left my house at 2 a.m. and I drove, and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't like this.
That's exactly what you should do.
Because I was like, I like the house. It's perfect, but I don't like the neighborhood.
Do you guys, what I noticed about people in Vegas? There's not many people that sit out in the front yard.
Nope.
Not really, right?
It's hot, though.
Even when it's not hot,
it kind of makes sense, Dan. 110.
What is it? 2 or 3 months is hot, right? Yeah. But nobody has chairs. Nobody really. There's no area to say, I'm going to sit out front.
Yeah.
It's almost
but in the backyard,
it's the same thing. There's not huge backyards and you're right next to your neighbor. And same thing with just a lot of the kitchens. I'm not saying there's not nice kitchens in some of these homes, but just a lot of things aren't set up to revolve around the traditional family or dinner or things like that. Yeah. Or your neighbors. I live in Summerlin and I'll admit it. I've been in my house for 3 years now. And I know what my neighbors look like.
You've never met a neighbor in 3 years,
if we were in a crowd, I wouldn't be able to pick them out.
You're not the type of person that brings over when they come in and you knock on the door and here, I got you guys some goodies.
I wave when I join.
Neighborhood.
I live in it's a low gated community. There's only 2 streets. My street and the street behind me. We're the only ones in there. And
So what do you do when you come by? You just do one of those, like
I just, dude, I wave, but it's like nobody. I'm not trying to be a dick or like be mean. It's just nobody.
I think that's a good.
I keep to myself basically.
I think that it is good though to kind of like introduce yourself to your neighbors because when you're not there, they watch. Your
I
home.
agree. I agree.
Like, we might not be best friends, but hey, I want to introduce I'm Esmeralda.
Yeah, I'm.
Here's some cookies.
Dude,
Hey, welcome.
I got the best neighbor, man.
Listen, I'm from the Midwest, man. We don't have walls there. It's like
I got the best
throw your
neighbor
a beer.
So I'm over here. This guy's coming. We have a car, right? We had like 4 cars in it. We were trying to sell one.
Yeah.
So this guy's over here looking at a car. He comes pulling in.
Is this your neighbor?
My neighbor, and he's like looks over, kind of peeking out the area. I was like, "What's going on over here?" So hey, Dan, you good? I said, "I'm good." He's like, "Okay, you let me know if you're not good." I was like,
"That's awesome, man! Really?
All right.
That's cool, man." Yeah, dude. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's just I'm not trying to go out of my way. It's just people in my neighborhood. It's live in an older community, so everyone's kind of keeps to themselves.
I had a neighbor where I lived in my other community when I lived in Rose Ranch. At first, I didn't like it because I was like, "Damn, he's like nosy." Like I don't know, like I feel like almost invaded him. But then I thought about it because he has kids and he was always out in the front and But every time I was out or he saw somebody drive my house, he would come out like to make sure, like like okay, who's this person coming over here?
I'm a man. I'll make sure you're safe.
Well, no, but it was like a family. But at first, I didn't like it. I was like, "Why is this guy?" And then, I mean, my cousin lived right next door to him.
Bro, I got this. I don't need you.
Yeah. No, I was just like, wait. But then I was like, you know what? That's kind of good because, God forbid, I'm not here. I travel a lot.
Yeah.
Something goes down. I mean, no, he's
Esmeralda
he's out there.
Esmeralda pulls out a 45. Don't worry, dude. I got this. Say hello to my little friend.
Come on with a pistol, like a rifle and shit.
Hey, you know what's crazy is that I think a lot more women are starting to try to carry guns, right? I mean, concealed weapons.
They should.
Hey, my dad took all of us.
Yeah,
and he took us shooting. We would go.
I know every girl I grew up with knows how to shoot.
I was like, wait, this is too heavy for me. My dad's
they do. They do, dude.
And my dad would come back and I'm like, hey, this gun is too heavy. My dad's like, don't worry about it. Here, I got a collection here. This one's good for you.
So do you carry you have a gun, right? I'm assuming.
I don't have one right now.
Oh, you don't have one right now.
She's got 4 of them.
Okay.
I don't.
Everybody needs to know that. You always carry on you.
I'm not against it, but I think you should, as a woman, you should be protected.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You should be safe. I got other weapons. No, I'm just fine.
So going into buying this house, because we're talking about the Las Vegas market, we're talking about confidence. You were not in a multiple offer scenario then.
No, I was.
You were.
I was.
Did you go over list?
I did go over list a little
Wow.
She knew the people involved, so she knew what she had to do to get the house.
So do you mind asking like how much over list you went?
I went 10 over.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I went 10 over, and I just added covering some of the closing cost, and
there you go.
And they said that I had the best offer.
Yep.
So
there's a tactic out there.
Yeah.
Like you could say, hey, you know what? We're going to go 10 above.
Dude, there's multiple different ways.
And then you know what? If the appraisal doesn't come back, if you don't put that in there, you can say, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to have to lower the appraisal. I'll still pay you what you want. But
that's why I always say, like I had that buyer this week. They said, do you think we should go over? I said, let's write it for 5 over.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because unless I said, so agent.
Mine met the appraisal, so I did add that.
Well,
and it still met the
listing
appraised
agent at
value,
that point can do 2 things. They can sit there and say, okay, sounds good. So they're willing to go 5 over and get it signed. Yeah. Or if they're smart and they know what they're doing, they're going to counter me back and say, cool, is your buyer willing to waive in the difference if it appraises lower? But I'm not going to tell that to them. I'm going to make them force to counter that. Sometimes they'll counter it. Sometimes they won't. If they don't, sweet.
Yeah.
But those are the things you need to know what to do.
Yeah, but that comes from your agent. That's why it matters who your
100% matters.
For me, it saved me because I just know a lot of people. So I was like, oh, okay, I have a chance now.
How many offers did you put in before you finally got one accepted?
A lot.
Was it? Because that price point's pretty tough, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty challenging, right?
I started off with 300.
Dude, you have no idea.
Yeah, I started off with 3, but I didn't even have a chance. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I would go see it, and it was like lines of people.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even have a chance to see them when they're like, hello, the other realtor's coming in, and you had to leave.
You need to write to offer first, see it second.
Yeah. Absolutely. In those price ranges, you do.
You do. I always tell to my buyers, they're like, is it possible? Yeah. If you care about getting your offer accepted and saving our time.
I think in that price range it's a very desirable price.
Very desirable.
And there was lines. I mean, I experienced it. I was kicked out of many homes. They're like, hello. And my was like, you got to leave. I was like, wait, but I'm not done. I got to look at the shower.
Yeah.
You're sorry, your time's up. Next.
Yeah. And they would wait in line. I mean, literally a line. I couldn't even find a parking spot.
I know.
I was like, what? This is crazy.
I had this last weekend. I know.
I mean, so I know.
I know. I
Hey,
just
God
got off the
bless.
heels
I
of
hope
all
you guys
that.
get your home.
I wonder if all areas, like all cities, are going through this right now. Like I know California is probably going through, right? But I mean, the Midwest is on fire.
The Midwest. I mean, they
South
were
is on
up until a
fire.
couple months ago. I haven't got the latest statistics
I
on the
love
Midwest,
Florida.
but
I would buy something in Florida as a second home. I love Florida.
I would if it wasn't for the people. So I'm just
Is
kidding.
it because they don't tell? Is it
No.
because they don't tell the client about everything on the deals?
Dude, isn't that crazy about that agent?
Florida is gorgeous.
Dude, that guy's up a world of I'm
So
telling
we all
you, man.
we all agree though that this market is really just going through a small. I wouldn't even say it's a correction yet. I would just say it's starting to slow down a little bit at this point. Right?
I would say it's leveling out.
Yeah.
And it's always around this time regardless.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic, right? It always fall into winter. It levels
Coming
out.
into the holidays.
Because a lot of people don't make a lot of transitions during the holidays and things like that. So,
People are spending money. They're traveling. They don't, just around the holidays, they don't want to do it. And I think if anything, with the housing market becoming more normal, I wouldn't really necessarily look for it to be because now all of a sudden a lot more homes are on the market. I would look at it as because interest rates are going up.
Well, yeah, they're going up, and that's a good point. Now,
Even a percent
so
and a
buy
half.
now.
let's bring in.
I'm just saying
this.
that's going to have more. That's what I would look for having more of an impact than say,
I agree.
because more homes are on the market.
Let's bring this in. So you're talking about rates going up. We all know that rates have started to creep up.
What are they right now?
Well, they're in the low threes, right?
Okay,
And depending
but
on
they
where you're
were
at,
the high twos.
they were the high twos. Now, okay, people are starting to see it. Inflation. Talked about that. Is that going to push? Is that going to push
Yes.
people
Here, let me
in a
read
position to potentially wait on buying a home because of interest rates going up? We're talking about inflation's high
So
right
yes,
now.
I believe it will have an impact to a certain. I don't know how much, but there's going to be a segment that's going to say we're going to pause, and that comes back to the part of the people who needed to buy and absolutely wanted to buy have bought.
They're done.
And now you have people who can buy, who are looking to make a move or looking to make a change. But hey, man, they're also in a position where they're just kind of might sit back and kind of see what happens with inflation and what happens with interest rates and stuff like that.
So let me read this, you guys. It says the rate of inflation in 12 months ended in July, remaining at 5.4%. For the second straight month, a 20-year high.
Wow.
And that's what I'm trying to I wish Joe Dragon was here since he loves the Keynesian system that's taught. And I understand because it's taught in all the colleges and universities, but it's the wrong system.
Yeah.
It basically is a system of passing on the buck. Is what it is the bottom line of what it comes down to.
Yeah.
No accountability at a certain point.
So
and
1.25 increase.
So all they're doing is passing down the buck and printing out not real money.
The inflation.
So, just
listen,
sooner or later it's got to catch you, dude.
No, it's catching up now.
Yeah,
Inflation is. We're
1 + 1 = 2. I mean,
we're paying
Yeah,
it back.
So here's what's
Absolutely.
come out. The core PCE is what the government uses. That's their favorite gauge, right? And they look at this, and we're double the amount of what they were having or what they want inflation to be at. They always want it right around that 2%. It can go a little bit above, but they don't want it to go too crazy. Yeah. We're looking at close to 5%, right?
Yeah.
And so
it says that overall 5%.
yeah, overall 5%.
so it should be 5% normally
no, it
No.
should be 2%.
2%.
for inflation.
Yeah. Now this could be a temporary thing because of COVID, and because we materials
It's
and
5.3% to be exact. Overall, all items. I mean, food, everything.
Okay, that makes sense. though.
Within
look
average-
at gas. Look at
With an average of 12 months. This is what
Yeah.
it's up to. 5.3%.
where did I? Oh, so I went to Five Guys Burgers the other day.
So it's actually doubled, more than doubled.
Dude, I went
It's
to
more than doubled.
Yeah.
I went to Five Guys Burgers, and I always get the same thing. I get 2 cheeseburgers, I get a large fries, and I get a large drink.
And then now it's always the
And
same price.
it was like $4 more, $5 more for everything.
Yeah.
And I even said, I'm like, did you guys raise your prices? And she's like, yeah. like
Yeah,
literally
very
$5 more for the same damn meal,
Like
bro.
it's expected. Right? It's like you
Yeah.
know what's going on.
Oh,
man.
and now they want me to tip them too for not serving me the food, just for being there, because that's a whole other conversation.
Well, you look at this infrastructure bill You look at this $3.5 trillion additional bill that they're talking about. I don't see how that's going to benefit anyone. All they're going to do is raise taxes, right? And the inflation report's going to
definitely taxes.
Right.
We're going to get hit taxes. So you need to own a home. You need to write off something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's the unrealized gains that they're starting to float around. That's people. So what that basically says is, say you're some little old grandma who's 75 years old, and you bought your house in California for $200,000. And now and you've lived there for 30 odd years, and now it's worth $1.5 million. But you haven't sold it yet. The government says we're going to tax you on that difference between that $200,000 to $1.5 on something. So you're going to pay taxes on something you've never even sold.
Yeah.
Think about trying to pass that bill.
I hope not.
Dude. How many people have we seen? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. They're
proposing it.
How many people have we seen where you have people out there that are over $1 million or right around that $1 million? It's almost like that's the new upper or higher end model for somebody buying a
million. Yeah, it's like
nothing anymore.
50's new 30 type of thing.
Yeah, it's $1 million is nothing like it used to be. When people used to say you're buying $1 million, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember when I started 16 years ago. It was like $1 million house was like, man, who do I got to get that listing, you know? But now it's just like,
is that how they do it?
Now it's like million, please.
Oh,
I don't talk to you unless you're two. I'm just kidding.
So that's how they do it, huh? The high end, that's how they do it.
Well, I'm just saying that for a point. I'm a little melodramatic if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying, you look at these properties. It's not uncommon to have a $2.5 million home. And listen,
nope, not at all, man.
They're buying them. Multiple offers,
and they're buying them cash or 50% down.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, it's $1 million down payment. Let me just go get my checkbook. I mean, that's for real though.
Yeah. You talked about investors too coming in here and buying up properties, and is this going to be something you're going to consistently see? Even though we're at a high end or it's higher than it's ever been, it's not, sway to any type of investor coming here and buying properties.
Well, remember,
in bulk.
they look for opportunities. An investor looks for opportunities. It doesn't matter what's going on. Mm-hmm. If there's an opportunity in any type of business, right? Hey, that's an opportunity. That's an investor. Yeah. They look for opportunities.
I mean, there's no shortage of iBuyers. iBuyers being We Buy Homes, Zillow,
and the market will continue through that.
Yeah. And I can tell you, they're making the least amount of ROI on that than they ever have, and they're still buying them like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that though? I mean, obviously, if you're going in, the seller's not going to get rewarded for that to get somebody like an iBuyer,
but
right?
sometimes the sellers are not.
They are, because the last 3 iBuyers, or I should say, I know 3 sellers just in the past month where they wanted to go list their house, or they did list their house and the accepted offer was Zillow. And Zillow was paying like 10 or 15 grand. And this is like a $500,000 house over list.
Yeah, I did hear that too.
So it was a regular listing, but then Zillow, which was an iBuyer, came in and was willing to go over list price.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I did, and I'm not a Zillow. And I was like,
the difference is they're doing it as a corporation on a massive level, you know, but it's the same theory. Yeah.
I looked at it like with my loan, I was like, is that going to really like break me? No, it's like nothing. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
whatever,
but let me say this. If you got a
get
property,
hedge fund money, it's not going to break either.
Yeah, if you
that's what they use hedge fund money.
Yeah.
So,
but if you got a property, right, that's got multiple things wrong with it, right? Like I got a list. Like there was a laundry list on one of these properties. Like I want you to write in the addendum, this needs to get fixed. And it was like 12 things. And I'm like, really? And so I'm sitting there like, nobody's gonna make an offer here, right? Nobody's gonna go above list.
Well, all of a sudden, a handyman.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh, we just got an offer. It's 10 over. And I'm like, with all these things,
dude.
Yeah, because if somebody knows how to, if you're a handyman or you have somebody that is, they can fix all that.
I mean, that matters to you and your buyer, but it doesn't matter to this buyer. He's willing to it was the same thing when we did all those short sales in 2013, and we had Blackstone, the hedge fund, come to us directly. They came to us and said, hey, we want first dibs on your short sale listings, and we'll give you full price and blah, 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 and we'll pay for the attorneys to do the short sale, and we'll waive all contingencies, including home inspection.
Yeah.
Because listen, what's going to get your offer accepted?
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with that listing agent, right? And I'm like, look, what's the story, right? I mean, this thing fell out.
Yeah.
It fell out. I'm like, why did it fall out? Okay. She's like, well, there's things wrong with it and people backed out. And I think people get the mindset that they're already overpaying or top dollar for a house. Or
I
overpaying.
was that one.
Absolutely.
Why would they want to go
Yep.
and now fix things and pay top dollar,
Yeah.
right? So now
Wait,
you're
I'm already
that's
paying
just-
more than I should.
Right.
And it's going to come where I got to fix it.
I have to do that in mind, you guys. So this is how I looked at it because I was like, this is going to be an investment for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up. I'm going to live in it for a minute and get it set up where it's desirable the way that I would want. But I'm looking for longevity, so I don't care. Because whatever, if it goes up, down, it doesn't matter. I'm there for the long run.
Bonita's got a great question, and I'm going to talk about this. What's going on with Zillow buying up neighborhoods or properties? Brett?
Oh, that's funny. So that gets to the other article. I like the way she thinks.
I know exactly.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm telling you, she's going to be a co-host.
See, dude, I'm telling you.
I'm telling
Bonita,
you.
you're awesome. So you and I were talking about that before. Here's an article that I actually brought today to talk about, which is there's this realtor in Henderson. I forgot his name, and it doesn't really matter. And he says, "Oh, I've never been on TikTok before, but I just happened to notice that." And he starts giving out a scenario. He was like, "So what if I told you Zillow bought 30 homes in one neighborhood for $300,000, and then they bought the 31st one for $350,000? What if I told you they were bringing up the blah blah blah?" So he ended up getting like 2.5 million likes on TikTok and all those things, and it became all in the news. And so they go to this guy and they interview this realtor directly, and he basically was like, "Oh well, I don't know if that's true or not. You would have to ask those brokerages. I'm just saying it's a situation where they could if they wanted to." And it's like, dude, you made a whole TikTok thing saying that these iBuyers are manipulating the market, and there's no proof of that. And they say, well, prove that.
Well, look
and he's saying, well, I don't have any proof. It's just, it's a situation where they could. I mean...
Well, look at who controls the asset controls the situation, right? So if you're...
Or even
what
better,
it is.
sensationalism sells.
Right. Here's the situation.
Whether it's the truth or not.
To answer that question, yes, it's an iBuyer. They're trying to come into the market and try to buy properties so they can control them. My thought is they're trying to be just like an open door or like a offer pad.
So they're doing it more in a sense of, I think that they're looking towards long-term future where they want to be able to control the market.
Right.
No,
That's what they're going to do is it doesn't really matter buyer dollars or cents right now. It does, but the overall perspective or idea, I guess,
this is what my intake is in this, you guys. That right now, even if the market is a little bit higher than what you anticipate buying, but the way the rent is going, I don't know. I've been looking at rent. There was only 1,000 homes in the market at one point. Yeah. That's insane. The rent was a lot higher than you buying a house, and that means they're squeezing.
That's
that
what
market.
I'm saying.
You're being squeezed out.
I had another buyer who's going to be moving here. They said, okay, we're going to probably want to live there for 6 months to a year before we buy. Send us a list of all rentals in Henderson with a pool. And I'm telling you, I didn't put a price point. I didn't put a price point of how high. So there were some that were like $10,000 a month to rent,
I
right?
believe it. I believe it.
So all the properties for rent at whatever price point from 0 to whatever it is with a pool were 10.
I believe it.
10 rental properties
you know who we need?
in all of Henderson.
We need Rick Raines here.
Yeah.
That's
Rick
what we need.
Raines,
Maybe
bitch.
give a shout out to Rick Raines.
Rick
He's coming
Raines,
back
he's
next
sick.
week. He wasn't feeling good
that's
this week.
you're right. That's the thing about it is, okay, so what's your alternative? Rent?
Well, and I was talking to a couple property
Managers?
managers that are friends of mine that do business with me, and they were saying that that now for their new people, anybody that they're taking in their home and actually renting it out, that they're going to add in their contract, like they could raise the rent in 3 months, 6 months, and if you don't want to be part of that, then they don't have to.
Which goes back to the theory of as long as humans can, they will.
Until somebody changes that, right? But right now,
that's what I'm saying. People will do whatever they can. I mean,
know.
that's why, in a sense, you need some regulations, as you know.
Well, look, so to go back
for that reason, if you allow people to, they will. Period.
Zillow's doing this also too. I feel that they're going to recruit realtors and try to control that as well.
They already are.
They already are.
See, and there you go. Right.
A regular pay.
This was their game plan.
It's already happening.
10 years ago, dude, when they started. And the kicker about it is realtors ourselves paid for them to be this successful. Because where they made most of their money, or at first made most of their money to get things going, was by selling leads to realtors.
Yeah, and then you guys.
So
enter in
then the
your
realtors
database.
paid them to sell them leads. They took that money to basically their end goal is to take realtors out of business.
Yeah. So to also too with this Zillow and you talk about Open Door and these iBuying companies, they don't really want to do too much with these properties. And she brought up a good point is they just list the property, right? They're not going to sit there and go overly.
Yeah, they're not going to stage it.
No, they're not going to stage it. They're not going to look.
Correct.
Like, there might be
She's
repairs,
correct.
minor
Yep.
repairs, but there's going to be probably some like, hey, you know what? Unless we have to do it, or unless we have to fix it, we're not going to fix it.
Remember you ran into that with your one buyer with
Yeah.
what was it, OfferPad
No,
or
it was
Open
Open
Door?
Door, yeah.
Yeah. Came back and it was like some smire. So there were a few items that the appraiser, I mean, basically the loan was contingent on these items getting fixed. And Open Door told them to pound sand.
Yeah.
So we're not fixing it.
They eventually did it.
I mean,
They eventually did it, but what I'm saying is they were like, "Hey, we really need to see this, right?" And it's one of those things where I get it. You're not making like a ton, like it's already a set margin of what you're making, right? It's probably not as much as if you were gonna list the property.
Yeah.
But there wasn't.
But it was
wasn't
it was a loan contingency. Like it needed to get done
Right.
it needed to be fixed for the loan to happen.
The
Like,
loan wouldn't close.
Well, okay.
if this
so
wasn't
then
done.
the deal's going to fall apart.
So-
The long and short of it is.
So you have to sometimes
But you could have credited it back and like just had they wouldn't do it that
the
way. with
lender the
invoice.
lender's not going to insure against the property and say, "Hey, we're going to go ahead and close if these things are not in place."
Yeah. Yep.
Right? They're going to go and overlook some things, but there's some things that you can't get, that you
Especially
can't
once
go
it's in writing.
You know, I had my seller. I thought something was really sweet about them that there were some things that didn't need to be fixed, and I didn't actually make that as like an issue, and they ended up fixing them, and then they wanted to go half on other things that I didn't ask. I was just like, cool, like whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I just need to get it going, and they offered. I was like, wait, what? Okay, cool. So it
That's
ended up
cool.
working out in my favor. So I mean, sometimes you just get good people.
Yeah.
You know.
So, are we in agreement then, right, that this market is going to stay here? I want to answer one more question here with Logan. He put in here in the years 2020 to 2024, we have the biggest housing demographic patch ever, 32.5 million people ages 27 to 33. Then add move up or move down cash and investor buyers together, demand will be stable. So, again,
That's a huge statistic.
I
it's one of those
concur.
things. Yeah, I mean, that's
We need to have him on too.
Yeah, I mean,
Him and Bonita, dude.
well, listen,
Shit, I'm going on
Bonita.
vacation in like 2 weeks. You guys contact Dan.
right?
Bonita, you can take over the crypto role.
No, she'll take over
Me.
her.
Yeah.
As
Well, I'm in
well.
Miami
bring in
again.
other dude.
You
Dude,
can
I'm
come and take
serious.
my
That guy's,
spot.
they're spot on.
But here's
that
the
weekend.
cool
Spot
thing.
on.
Here's the cool thing is they got their ear to the ground too, right? They're knowing the data. They're getting the information.
Yeah, see, here's the
And
thing.
we're all having this communication together because this information.
They can get the same info I can get
Well, they bring their
for the most part.
but they bring a different element,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep,
a different
absolutely. That's what I like
perspective.
about
And
it.
That's
Yeah.
the difference, right? So everybody's got their opinion. Also, I want to bring up, Vera, you said it's volume with Zillow. They can give cash to a seller and pop it back up with their marketing power, even if the margin is low. So that's what, again, it's all about controlling, right? You want to control the asset. You want to control the outcome of what happens. And that's another good point.
So, I mean, getting back to what that one realtor here was saying, like, hey, I'm not saying that couldn't happen. And yeah, it's an area that could be manipulated. But I mean, I think you're going down a slippery slope as a company to want to control a market and then kind of
Well, it
cut
happened
your
in
own nose off
Arizona.
to spite your own face kind of thing. I mean, you could, but I mean, you could do a lot of things.
Let's say this though. Do you think they're too big to fail? Like Zillow's
No,
already got the name.
I don't
So
think
look,
that at all.
Here's
I
what I'm
don't
saying.
think, dude, after the last housing crash, I mean, I don't care what anyone tells me. Anything can fail.
I know, but let me explain.
Hey, if Countrywide failed,
Right?
come on, man.
I'm going to explain why I'm saying this.
Right?
Yeah.
They've established a name
Yep,
out there.
absolutely.
A lot of people think that Zillow's the starting point to go buy a house. So I'm not saying
They did an amazing job marketing.
They did.
They just
Yep.
have the best platform in marketing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but what's crazy is they started out not being realtors, right?
Correct. So, but they saw a need, which was
Data.
which is data. They made it so user friendly. The Realtors Association, we keep the MLS like we're the gatekeepers, right? Zillow took that gate key, unlocked it, and said, "Here you go," to the general public. That's why. And listen, when you provide a service that's worthwhile like that to somebody for free, you're going to get business. It was smart by them. They saw, the Realtors Association and a lot of the websites haven't been user-friendly for years and years and years, and they've had to over the years, mostly because Zillow has forced their hand, but Zillow's led the way on that.
Yeah, but I think what I'm saying is Zillow's already established that name, and they've established predominant, like the predominant figure, right, of real estate, where they can try things like this, even if it doesn't work out. It's not going to really affect them because everybody's got that instilled in their mind that that's the starting platform to go to.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not easy. Yep. It's easy to just find,
And that's from building up their brand, period.
Yeah. So let's also go over here. Cryptocurrency. I want to say this, and then we're going to give you I'm going to give you this mic, right? The magic mic here.
I thought we weren't talking about that today.
Did you ever hear a magic mic?
Hey, I like that movie.
Yeah. So I don't want to talk about my college days. Okay.
Brett, do you want the magic mic, buddy?
Hey, I had to survive. Okay. So.
Oh man. So anyways, let's talk about cryptocurrency. So I've had deals. Dude, you're over there.
I'll be in town all week. Thank you very much.
So let's talk about what's happening with cryptocurrency. I'm getting deals done with cryptocurrency. And I do feel like this is going to start to become more of a thing. We can't, obviously, with Coinbase and how this has happened. I mean, that's probably something to look at because you got hacked. Right?
Well,
but I'm going off topic.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency, we're closing deals. So we're going to start seeing, I feel, a lot of people don't want to pull money out of cryptocurrency till the very end, right? Maximize that money. They don't want to pull it out until they really have to.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's going to be something we're going to start to see that people are going to really start to use crypto for buying a home. What do you think?
100%. It's 100% going there. And same thing with blockchain being in the transactions and all that thing, because then everything can be tracked and everybody sees what's going on at all times. But, like Bitcoin right now is looked at as property. And so a lot of people, it's kind of like, well, what do you do with property? Is you use that to buy other property in a sense.
Well, look at
but
a
lot of people. So for a buyer's side, there's a lot of people that made a lot of money in Bitcoin that are young, and they will buy a $2, $3, $4, $5 million house cash with Bitcoin for no other reason than they just want to say that they bought a house with Bitcoin and they're one of the first to do it and they're cutting edge and all those things.
Right.
And they've made so much money young that they're willing to do that. For a seller, I always say, listen, don't you want to, especially if the market does start to tighten up some, don't you want as many possibilities as possible to want to sell your property? Don't you want to have your buyer pool be as open as you can be?
Right.
I mean, listen, if there's somebody like me that knows how to facilitate it and has the apps to be able to do it, so it's basically like a transaction and it's seamlessly, how's that not going to eventually come into play?
Well,
it's going to.
Cryptocurrency is used, but here's what I'm going to say. It's not like you can just say, well, I'm going to go buy the house crypto. They convert it to cash, depositing it into their bank.
All it is an app, right? So I have an app. I didn't create the app, but I know the app, right? So what happens is you get an accepted offer, and then say there's the very first thing is that say there's $10,000 earnest money needs to be deposited. So what the title company does is they essentially send over an email and text with like an invoice to the person who owes the earnest money.
Right.
That person can go to their Bitcoin wallet or Litecoin wallet or whatever cryptocurrency they want to use. They send it, they hit reply and send it like you're sending cash to somebody on Venmo or whatever it is. And they send it, say, $10,000 in Bitcoin. The second that the title company receives it on their end, they receive it in cash. They don't receive it in Bitcoin. They don't receive it in Litecoin. There's no slippage where if Bitcoin, it takes an hour to transact over and Bitcoin goes down 1%, 2%. There's none of that. They send over $10,000. You send out an invoice for $10,000. You get $10,000 in cash back.
Right.
Same thing when you go to close on the property. Instead of wiring in your remaining funds, say it's a cash transaction for a $600,000 house. So you've got to wire over $600,000 at the end to close. All you do is go to your Bitcoin wallet and send over that $600,000 worth of Bitcoin. The second the title company receives it, they receive it in their account in cash.
Here's the deal, and you're absolutely right, but
I mean,
consumer confidence is in cash, right? It's in dollars.
Correct.
So as long as that's there and it's instilled, it's going to be a slower transition. Do I think it's going to get there at some point? Sure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I talked to a ton of title.
It's going to be like in the next 3 or 5 years.
I talked to a ton of title companies about this, and they all understand what I'm saying. But they all say, dude, you're about 5 to 10 years ahead of yourself.
Right?
That's a good place to be.
And so I understand that, but I mean, I believe Bitcoin's gonna be a world currency or the internet currency in the years to come. So the more that we come closer to that, the more that these ideas that I'm kind of talking about in transactions like this are going to be common.
All right, let's go over here. I want to show everybody here about what you got with these properties. All right, so this is the properties that you have, and you can kind of scroll here. Matter of fact, let me see this really quick, Brett. I want to show you something real quick, bud. So this property right here, let me just kind of see if I can help you out with this. Let me move this around here. So let me move this over.
What are you looking for?
Well, I'm going to show you. So now you can scroll. So you can scroll with this now. So let's see what you're talking about here with these properties. So go ahead and give us. Well, you said you wanted to talk about how many properties are on the market, right? So you wanted to bring that up.
So what? There's 3,849.
3,849.
So a little over 3,800.
Okay.
What was there? There's been somewhere between what?
3,100.
3,100 and
So we
this
buy-
and
we-
3,900.
Yeah, we probably have about 700 more homes within the last couple of weeks. A little bit increase.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might not be exact on the numbers, but
So
it
I
definitely
mean,
increased.
even if we have 500 or 600 home increase, which is good, don't get me wrong, it's better than decreasing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the
You
things.
know, we still have a market where the number volume of people moving here is way over that. So
Here's one of the things: the historic sales by year. All right, so we started back in November of 2020, and you look at now. I mean, obviously this is October, so it just got started.
Yeah, okay.
But look at this has been pretty steady, right? I mean, we've been hovering, right around this same graph. Go ahead.
sales have stayed the same or increased every month.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, not every month,
Yet
but-
we still
Just
have the
about,
same amount of low inventory on the market.
Right. Here's an interesting here too.
So how can you keep on having it? You see what I'm
Here's
saying?
interesting too. Look in July right here. July we had 100. It was over 100% as far as listings. So if you listed your home in July, June and July, you were getting over 100% guaranteed that you were going to get an overlist offer.
That's insane.
Look at. So look at this right here. You go back to 2019. This was like, I would say 2018 was a pretty healthy market. We dropped in 19. Then you come up here.
Dude, look at that.
Look at this. This is 2 months of just out of control,
Dude.
right?
That's like
And now
that's
we're back.
like Bitcoin run right
now
there.
we're back at 100%. So what is this saying? This saying is the market right now, whatever you list your home for, you're pretty much going to get list offer, right? It's not. I mean, is it still happening over list? Sure, but those last 2 months was just on fire.
And that's what I'm saying
know?
is you can't. I mean, you don't want the market to be doing what those last 2 months were every month.
Yeah.
So to not do that every 2 months like that is a healthy thing versus, I mean, great for those 2 months. They're rock stars, but they're not the norm.
It's just but it's just crazy to me that consumer confidence and all these things and frenzy and like summer times when people typically move, kids are out of school. Guaranteed, if you listed your home in June or July, that timing part of it, you can count your money, man. I mean, it's in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm going 20
All the
above.
bank.
Dude, all you gotta do is
I'm
go to
cashing
bed that
out.
night. Go to bed that night, think you're gonna sell. Wake up in the morning, you've already got the money in your bank.
You know what? I'm hoping that that in these next 3 months that actually the real estate stays consistent, because I mean there's still opportunity and there's homes and
Well, I think the frenzy's gone, right? I mean, it's still there to where people want to move here. But like you said, Brett, everybody that was going to buy, that needed to buy, that wanted to buy, they've bought.
Yeah.
So now it's the people that are like, you know what? I'm not going to just push myself in this market because I'm joining the rat race.
I have 5 or 6 buyers right now between 600 and 1.2 that purposely are like, dude, we're just going to wait. And I've been talking to them the last couple of weeks. They've been starting to see slight moves on things. And I'm like, wait till the beginning of the year, end of the year. And they're ready to go full force at the end of the year, beginning of the year.
and there should be
They just
more
want things to keep on calming a little bit. And they're not expecting to get it for a huge discount. They just don't want to deal with all the crap that you have to deal with for these multiple offers.
Right. So we're going to end the show. All right, you guys, we're going to kind of settle things up here. Brett, you got what do you got out there? Let me see your shirt, buddy.
Come on.
Let's see that shirt, buddy. Let's take a look at that shirt, buddy, or the belly. That's just
Do you even Bitcoin, bro?
Do you do the Bitcoin?
That's like people come with you like, hey man, how you doing? I just look at them like, do you even Bitcoin, bro?
What do you got going on this week, man? Weekend.
Showings, and
Bitcoin.
more showings, and Bitcoin.
Cryptocurrency.
Oh, Bitcoin at this point is just watching it. I'm not doing anything trading with it. I'm just waiting for it to.
Esmeralda, what do you got going on this weekend? You going out of town? You going to a party?
No, I'm not. But I'm planning to go out of town here probably this month at the end of the month. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I don't know. I want to go to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
I love October. October's a really nice time to go. But we'll see. If not, California, I guess.
California, here
I
I
actually
come.
want to go back to San
Right.
Diego. I want to spend more time there. It was really nice.
Guys, I just want to say, everybody that's out there that's tuned in and made those comments, you guys are the reason for the show.
Thanks
we
for
want to
watching.
thank you all very much. LV Home Professionals, check it out. Also,
My new site,
oh yeah, go ahead. What's your new site, buddy?
it's real simple. BrettJenny.com. BrettJenny.com. BrettJenny.com.
Brett,
Super
you got a
simple.
big ego, bro. When you put your name as your URL, that's a big ego.
You know
bro.
what, dude? Brett Jenny. It's a pretty easy name. I want to make it easy, so I can't do BJ Realty because.
What the hell?
So I gotta keep the Brett. I gotta keep the Brett
Yeah,
Jenny.
stick to that.
You want to put BJ.com?
Keep the Brett Jenny.
Exactly.
You'll go a lot
Exactly.
further.
This has been thought out, buddy.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Like the channel. Please hit the like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't. If you guys have any comments, leave a comment in the comment section. And we will see you on Tuesday. We got a title company coming in. We'll have Rick Raines back here next Saturday, so please tune in. Also, look at our past shows. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys at the next stream. Thank you for watching an episode of the French Workbench Podcast. If you want to tune into past episodes, please subscribe to my channel now. Also, if you want to look at our audio-only options, we do have iTunes and SoundCloud.